So, nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I want to talk about bow upgrades. Ayan. Ano ba yung mga dapat mong hanapin when you're looking for a bow, and is upgrading your bow rather than your violin a wiser choice, especially for people looking to upgrade their playing or their instruments this year, no? Ayan. So, when it comes to violin kasi, parang people tend to think na the bow that comes with their violin will always suffice, okay? So, syempre, sa mga mumurahing instruments, less than 10,000, I think, usually may kasama na talaga silang bow. So, you don't have to buy a new bow for that reason, no, meron na kasi siyang kasamang bow. And usually it works well naman, no, with the instrument that it comes with, no. Around, I think, kahit until 15,000, 10,000 nga na minsan may kasama pang bow. But if you go above that price range, usually you're just paying for the violin. And a lot of people tend to forget that the bow does majority of the work, no, when it comes to playing. No, yung sound ng violin mo could be altered by the bow that you use, di ba? We've talked about how the quality of the bow changes your sound or the quality of the tone that you produce, di ba? So, malaking factor talaga yung paggamit ng bow. And it's not always just an upgrade for the sound quality when you're looking for a bow to upgrade to, no? Usually, yung comfort din, no? Because cheaper bows tend to be on the heavier side, no? Kasi they need more material to support the stick of the bow, no? And a lot of, higher end bows tend to be on a little bit on the lighter side kasi kahit na mas manipis yung material, mas dense yung material na yun. So they don't need a lot of material. Hence, it becomes a little bit lighter and easier to work around. Yan. So people tend to think na okay na ako, yung bow ko 1,500, tapos yung instrument niya, let's say 20k, ganun. So I mean, we don't want to base on price, but sometimes there are bows that will go far beyond the price of your instrument, pero mas magiging beneficial yun. So, when you're trying to look for an upgrade, no, a first thing is, kailangan yung skills mo din nagde-develop. No? Don't try to upgrade your instrument and then parang iniisip mo na gagaling ako kasi mas maganda yung instrument ko. No! Kailangan yung skills mo yung magde-decide. Your skills will decide whether you need an upgrade or not. Okay? And kasi nga medyo mahal din mag-upgrade ng instrument if sanay ka na naman sa instrument mo and you're not looking to spending another, let's say kung ang violin mo ngayon is 10,000, you're going to spend at least 20,000 to get a new one na will significantly be much better than your old instrument, diba? Pero a bow upgrade can also be a good idea. Let's say, coming from a 1,500 bow, you're going to a 3,000 peso bow, no? Or 5,000 pesos, ganyan. Tapos, ma-feel mo yung pagkakaiba nila. So, again, when you're upgrading for a bow, it's not just the sound quality that you should be looking for. Kasi nga, sound quality with a bow could also work well with your technique. If you have fine and good technique, mas madali mo mapapalabas kung ano yung sound na gusto mo. So, you want to look for comfort, di ba? In a sense na mas madali mo ba siyang nahahawakan? Hindi ba nasi-strain yung kamay mo pag binubuhat mo siya? Because, as I've said nga, some cheap bows are heavy, no? So, kung nasanay ka na nun and then changing to a more expensive one that is a little bit lighter, no? A little bit more nimble, mas madali mong napapagalaw, mas madali mo siyang nagagalaw, it would benefit you, no? Less yung strain sa kamay, mas matagal ka mapagod because you're holding your bow, diba? Almost 100% of the time when you're playing. Plus, you are lifting it up most of the time. So, I know people who experience that holding heavy bows, parang sumasakit na din yung shoulders nila, no? The arms, nahihirapan, nagkakaroon ng ngalay or strain. So, trying to find a bow that will be more comfortable doesn't need to sound a lot better. Kasi nga, usually sound still comes from your technique. The bow can only do so much. No? Kung hindi talaga sound yung technique mo. So, you have to also focus on that. You'll have a better time using a bow that is fit for you. Yeah. So, usually then, when we talk about bows, you have to look at the bow hair. No? Make sure when you're upgrading your bow that the hairs are not fake. No? Kasi usually sa cheaper bows, they tend to have parang nylon, hindi nga horsehair yung ginagamit. No? So, ang hirap kumapit kasi hindi siya as rough as horsehair would be. So, make sure that the quality of the hair that is used on your bow is also okay before upgrading to a new one. No? Kasi, the quality of the hair will dictate how well it could contact your string. Kung gaano kaganda yung contact ng hair na yon sa strings mo ginagamit mo. Because if the hair doesn't provide that grip, it won't sound as good as you want it to be. Hindi mo ma-reach yung potential ng sound na meron yung bow na yun. No? And of course, materials. You have to look at materials. Cheaper bows are... Actually, all bows, majority of bows are made from what they call Brazil wood. No? So, kung naririnig nyo yun. And then, some bows are made from Pernambuco, which is technically the same wood. No? Ano ba yung pinagkaiba nila? So, when we say Brazil wood, it's the outer part of the tree. Doon kinukuha yung wood. Which makes it na parang mas bata. No? So, it has a younger age, kumbaga. So, meaning, it's going to be less dense. Hindi siya kasing compact. When you're getting the wood from inside the core of that tree, which is going to be more dense. So, yun nga, lighter siya but denser. So, less material yung needed for structure. That's why it becomes expensive. Diba? Kasi syempre, if you're using a cheap bow, you should expect to have cheaper materials used. No? Pero yun nga, malaking factor din talaga kung saan galing yung stick ng bow mo. Kasi that will create the resonance na kailangan niya, the bounce, no? Yun yung tinitignan din natin kung gaano siya ka-bouncy and how you can really control. Kasi the wood reacts, diba? So, I think people used to test if a bow is good, parang hinahampas nila ng konti. They strike like this. And then you have to feel kung abot ba dito yung vibration na ginagawa na. But of course, the best way if you're upgrading is to test it out for yourself. Kasi sound samples can be a bit deceiving, especially with the technology that we have. Hindi mo pa rin talaga maririnig yung talagang tunog nung bow na yon. And if the technique that the player is using is different from yours, baka hindi mo rin ma-achieve yung sound na napoproduce na nung gumawa ng sound sample. So, best to really test out the instruments or the bow that you want before purchasing them. No? And another type of bow you can consider as an upgrade, no, if you're using, for example, yung kasamang bow nga ng instrument mo, is a carbon fiber bow. So, ano ba yung upside ng paggamit ng carbon fiber na bow? Is, of course, it's going to be lighter than wooden bows because of the material. It's going to be sturdier and hindi siya masyado naapektuhan ng weather. So, if, for example, you always leave your instrument in your room, tas aircon yung kwarto mo, mapapansin mo na bigla na lang, magsi-stiffen up yung bow hairs or titigas yung hawak ng stick. Kasi nangyayari yon because of the humidity and temperature as well. So, nag-expand, relax yung stick. But when it is a carbon fiber bow, hindi mangyayari yun, no? Kasi it doesn't react with humidity and the weather. But, of course, yung resonance medyo nagsasuffer. Especially if your carbon fiber bows are a little bit on the cheaper side. No, meron din kasing mamahaling carbon fiber. Merong mura lang na carbon fiber. You can check out a video I did before on that. I bought a carbon fiber bow off Lazada. It's around, I think, 1,600 to 2,000 pesos. Okay siya, no, for beginners and people who are looking for an upgrade from, yun nga, from the bows that come with your instrument. Check it out. Yan, para makita nyo rin kung okay ba. No? And then, try it out for yourselves. Diba? Yan. So, if you're looking to upgrade, make sure first you have the skills na, no, to really get the most out of whatever bow you're upgrading to. And then best way is to really just check it out for yourself and play with the bow that you are trying to target. Ayan. So sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, drop a like, comment down below more content you'd like to see, and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. My course on Udemy is still available. Check it out. Links down in the description box below. This has been Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks, and I'll see you on the next.